How many times would you say you've watched the new teaser?
I'd only say 4 or 5.
Okay. I'm up to probably 12.
I mean, it's 34 seconds.
A couple times for pleasure, but then like the other, 8 times or whatever was like analysis. Like I'm like breaking it down,
And like I love it. So first off, folks, find the Halloween Kills trailer we're talking about. It's 34 seconds. I'm going to attach it to this episode.
It is the most recent one. There's one from 3 months ago and one from 4 days ago. It's the 4 days ago one.
Yes. But I like that they put it out because obviously we have to wait a year. So they're like, you've been very patient. Here's a trailer. And it's got some opening narration from Laurie Strode, or it's honestly more like Jamie Lee Curtis because I don't think Laurie would be saying what she says. So it's right. It's just like here's a trailer, guys. Sorry about COVID. Thank you, Laurie Strode. So yeah, I watched it a couple times for pleasure, and obviously we were going to talk about it on our program here. So I said, well, let me look at it a little closer. Let's see what's actually in there, because it's fast. So there's a lot of fast cuts and quick shots of that. Oh, what's that? Was that a gun? I don't know. Who's that character? I don't know. So I'm gonna go through it. Essentially, I wouldn't say frame by frame, but certain little shots that are in there. So I'm gonna be calling out the second marks. Like, hey, second 14, this happens. Before you kind of want to go
before we get that far into it, here's what I didn't do, and I just thought about this now. I probably should have done this. I should have looked at the Halloween 2018 teasers and trailers to see if there were any of these, but I don't recall that there were any trailer only scenes. Maybe there were scenes that like didn't make the final cut, but I didn't feel like
specially filmed ones for a trailer. Well, there's one shot, and I don't have the second mark for this. It's one of the first shots where it's literally just an exterior of the street, and it's very Halloween. Like if I had to create a picture of what Halloween would look like in the suburbs, it would be this shot. It's dark, and even the trees look spooky. Yes. That's the kind of shot where I'm like, I don't know if that's in the movie, and they just did a little pickup shot for the trailer here. But the actual like the meat and potatoes of it, I think it's all going to be in there.
I think it is too, and I got some interesting theories. I don't know if do we want to get into all that?
Yep.
Okay.
So this one might go a little long. So my first note is at the 14-second mark, because we get the opening narration. Jamie Lee's just like, "Hey, Halloween's coming," and there you go. So at the 14-second mark, we get, I'm going to assume, Michael Myers picking up his mask on the ground. And I'm like, why is mask on ground? Why was mask off?
Yeah, so that's the first thing we can talk about. His mask is in the middle of a suburban street. It's nowhere near Laurie Strode's house that was on fire. Mm-hmm. There's the left side of the mask, if you're wearing it, is burned.
Right arm facing, yes.
It's burned. He bends down. I heard a trailer. I watched a trailer breakdown. I probably shouldn't have, because all it did is make me mad. He's like, I guess we're assuming that's Michael. Like, no, there's no way it isn't him picking the mask up. It's his feet.
I mean, I literally just did that. But of course,
his hand has the fingers blown off on the same hand, and they're wrapped in a bandage. God damn. Yeah,
I didn't notice. See, now I see. This is what happens when you only watch it 4 or 5 times.
You got to get 12. You got to get to 12. You see every little detail. So here's my first important note. Oh, I guess the first one that you were talking about too. Why is his mask off?
Why mask off?
His mask is on when he's down there in the basement. Then they come to put the fire out, and we do see in the first teaser a very quick shot of him like on the porch, and the house is on fire or something. Like the mask is on him. Okay.
Yes.
So the mask gets off of him at some point back in town, or maybe at another time, and it ends up there, and then he finds it.
So does somebody rip it off? Does he take it off willingly? There's so many questions.
His hand is bandaged up.
Yeah, and I've got a
watched that a couple times.
I got a theory and a half on that one. I'll get to it.
Could be a couple things. I'll tell you what the easiest explanation is the fire department gets there, put out the fire, put him on the gurney, wrap up his hand. He's still alive. He's just not responding. Got to get this mask off of him, blah, blah, blah. And then maybe he kills the people in the ambulance and they do like a homage to 4 and the ambulance tips, something like that. But what's your theory? Because this could go a bunch of ways.
I want to get to it later.
Okay. So his hand is bandaged up, and I looked at it again to see, is it like haphazardly a one-handed Michael Myers bandage up? And it doesn't look that way. Like it looks
pro job, professional.
Yeah, it bled through, but it's like gauze all the way around his hand.
So
that's
some professionals we can make that leap.
Yeah, there's an interaction with medical technicians at some point.
Right. Which leads to when does this mask on the ground scene happen? Maybe middle of the movie? Is it late movie? It can't be early movie because that's when he's getting bandaged up. So that kind of gets me going, what could happen in the middle of this movie? Why mask on ground?
Why?
So we'll move
on ground.
It's 17 seconds. Michael seemingly uppercuts someone and blood splatters everywhere. Now, I think he's slashing someone in the chest with a blade of sorts, resulting in blood.
Yeah, you can't even really make it out.
Yeah,
even if you slow it down frame by frame, it's a blur. It looks
like a Mortal Kombat fatality. I don't know what he's doing, but that guy's dead.
Yeah, I found a frame because it's on YouTube, right? So it's still at the 17-second mark. All of these different frames. He's definitely holding some sort of sharp, looks like maybe like a scalpel or a knife or something in his hand, slashing through someone's neck. And the person looks like they have some sort of red scarf on, or like a red hood to their coat or something.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I just got lucky and found that frame, you know?
Does that mean anything to you? Red scarf?
Looks like that's someone with longish hair.
And it looks like I've got it now. I've got it up. Pull up 17 seconds for me. All right, I got it. Thank you.
Thanks,
it looks
Jamie.
like an older person. It looks like some gray hair, short gray hair over the shoulder.
But if you look in the front, there's like a loose strand. Like maybe it's pulled back or something, you know?
So are we even thinking man or woman? Are you going to make a leap here?
I'm thinking a woman. I'm thinking older woman.
Ooh, now this, because we're going to talk about Marion Chambers, the nurse from the original. I don't think that matches up though. So we're but yeah,
it might not be her.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
They said it's going to be so much bloodier. It's going to be, there's no buses to bring you back, but you're going to be bleeding from an uppercut from Michael Myers.
And we've said, hey, we didn't even need it to be bloodier. I don't remember anyone saying like it just wasn't bloody enough.
Yeah, nobody's clamoring for it, but I will take it.
Yep.
I will say yes to this. At 19 seconds, a young woman, see, I'm doing it. A young woman, assuming Allison here, is running from a street area into a field of some sorts, and in the background is a silhouette, which I'm assuming Michael, but she is hauling ass, and that's going to be kind of a theme a couple times in this trailer. Are people running away in fear?
Yes, it looks like Michael in the background. It's not Allison for sure.
That excites me.
It's not Allison for sure. She doesn't, and I'm not trying to be a shitty guy. She doesn't look. In one of the frames, she doesn't look too young. I can't tell if it's Lindsay, but it's definitely, she doesn't look like a teenager, you know, like I'm not saying she doesn't look old, but
I think she looks a little younger than that, but not high school, maybe a young mother. Sort of things, because we're gonna see Lindsay, and I'm not throwing shade, but she's on the older side.
I haven't broken down the frame. Oh yeah, it's not Lindsay for sure.
Oh yeah.
Now I see this. Oh, you know what though? She got like a reddish hood on her jacket. I don't know.
She's got the little coat on. It's a white coat. We're gonna CSI this. We're gonna stitch it together. We're gonna we're gonna go to Gene Stanleone in New York to match up the footage.
Yeah, I don't know if that's
But
her
yeah,
or
we-
not, but it could be. It's a
But
possibility.
we get Michael in the background, and there's a SUV in the background. So my thought is, was he driving? Was she driving? Were they in the car together? Did he stop the car and now she's running out of car? Who is this? Why does he give a flying about this person if it's not one of our people?
Can I give you my
That's-
prediction?
Please.
That was her car. She was driving. Everyone knows at this point that he's out there, and maybe she hits him or something, and then just books it. Just bails.
Maybe.
I don't know.
mean,
I don't think he chased her down with that car. I think she was in that car, and something
That's
happens,
too-
and then she leaves the car.
As long as it makes sense, because that's a little too 80s. Oh, I tripped and fell. It's like, don't, like, why would you do that? Just run him over again and back him up again and run him. Like, don't get out. So I hope there's at least some good kayfabe there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's something better that happens in between, but I think this is how he gets that car, possibly.
Oh, yeah. He's always in need of a lift. At 20 seconds,
Ooh.
we get Marion Chambers, who was the nurse in Halloween 78, and she's smoking, which I love because she smokes in that original one, and they actually get this
And she
actress
smokes an
who played-
H2O.
She smokes an H2O. They're like, what'd she do in the first one? Well, she was kind of scared, and she smokes. Well, that's her character then. She's a smoker. I love that. It's like, come on, guys. I mean, you can have an ashtray or something to throw that, like, but she's just have her smoke. But so she's back, and she's back in the passenger seat, and Michael's back to being on top of cars, palm striking windows. She's like, I can't get out. I can't believe this. He's palm striking my passenger. This was 30 years. This motherfucker. Thoughts on that one?
There's no wrench in his hand this time,
Yeah.
which is cool.
And he's using his good hand now. Come on. I
Uh,
have no hands by the end of this.
I don't. There wasn't supposed to be a wrench in his hand. I don't think in the first movie. I think we can see it on DVD, but not
Oh,
on
really?
our blurry VHSs. I don't think. Yeah, I think it's supposed to just look like he's just smashing it with his hand.
So we saw the movie Magic, huh?
Yeah, we did. We saw it right there on the screen.
John Carpenter, man.
She looks like she's got a little. I don't know. That's probably a 357. That's a long chamber.
She's ready to rock.
So
She knows.
that
She knows
cylinder's
the
pretty
score.
long. I think she's got a 357 Magnum. Some other things to note. So at this point, we have seen Laurie Strode a little bit. We're not there yet. I'll wait.
We're not there yet.
We're getting there. But yeah,
Okay.
he smashes the window. So we know she's in it. We don't know how much of a role she's going to play, but she's prepared this time.
At 21 seconds, Allison, not assumingly, it's f***ing Allison.
No, it's
in a
Allison.
hospital. In a hospital, walking down the hallway, looking quite traumatized.
Wearing the shirt she was wearing at the end of the first movie. That's the one thing I wanted to point out.
Yes.
I was looking for
so
clothing continuity in a lot of these to see.
I think we do. I think Karen has some continuity. I think
Yes.
we're there. I think we're there. It's same
Yeah,
night.
so that is her Bonnie and
that's
Clyde
what I
shirt.
wanted. That's what I wanted. I know we talked about it a million times, but I loved Halloween 78 going into Halloween 2 same
Yep.
night. I don't care if they didn't like making the movie or if they disagreed. Like, I loved it. And I'm glad this is doing the same thing.
And they clearly love it
Oh,
because they're going with the same theme. And it's sort of hard to escape that in a realistic setting logically anyway. Like they've been through this mess. They're all, beaten up, hurt, bloody. You're going to have to get to a hospital.
Yeah. So my questions are, she's walking down this hospital hallway. Is she on her way out? Is she going to a room? Is this where her story takes place? Like, is she going to be the Laurie Strode of this one where, like, that's her thing where she gets chased and chases Michael Myers in the hospital? Yeah, it just gets me going. Is this obviously somewhat early in the movie? Probably. Or is it just, is that deep in the movie?
Could be. We don't know how grandmother's doing or whatever. We gotta. She's trying to. That's a great point.
Because everyone's at the hospital at some point. We know Laurie's at the hospital. We're gonna get to that in a second. And I'm pretty sure we have some footage of Karen at that. Like, they obviously go to the hospital.
She's
'cause they were
walking.
yes.
She's walking, right? She's not in a bed. She's not in a room. She's not wearing a hospital gown.
Does she look cleared?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, like she looks okay. Like she's either leaving or she's going to the bathroom or something and waiting to see what's going on with her mom and her grandma.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's slow motion. I don't know if that's for the trailer or if that's some filmmaking flavor we're actually going to see in the movie.
It's hard to know now with digital, but back in the day, you could always tell when it was shot to be slow motion at 24 frames and when they just slowed it down. Because it would either look smooth or it would look sort of choppy, like there's a lot of black frames in between. I don't know how to describe it other than that. You could see when they're like, we're going to shoot this so it looks slow motion, but it looks smooth. And you could tell when they planned it, and you can tell when they just slow the film down that was originally shot at the right speed. But now with digital, I can't tell if it's supposed to be this way in the movie or if they just slow it down in the trailer, because I don't think there'd be any way to know this now.
So we'll see about that. 22 seconds. Karen, with Christmas sweater, stands over someone looking somewhat victorious. She's got
I'm glad you pointed that out.
Violent look on her face almost.
Glad you pointed that out. Christmas sweater, right? So same clothes she had on. But yes, after watching this, like sort of in a slow motion breakdown, chunk by chunk basis, I have come to the determination that this shot of Karen, she looks very victorious or sort of vindicated. She's looking down. She looks like, she doesn't look like, oh, I better go. She looks like, goddamn right. It looks like this shot is this scene, something final happens. Maybe it's just throwing us off.
Maybe.
But like maybe she's just like sees the mask on the ground, because you see the trees in the background, but it almost looks like it's almost light outside in the background, like it's dawn is coming. Like this looks like this is toward the end of the movie.
Might be the ending. Movies, they love doing this, where they're just like throw a little second clip from the ending. And I think we might have found it.
Yeah, it doesn't give anything away. We don't know what happens.
No, not at all. Oh, not at all.
It does look like the end. I mean, timeline wise, it looks like the sun's coming up and she looks finished with something.
Mm-hmm. At 23 seconds, we get Lindsay. Our first shot of Lindsay. She has it's very quick, but she has a flashlight. She seems to be outside, looking pretty spooked.
Yep.
There we go. So, because I know we talked about, I was hoping that she would be the tough, I'm not putting up with this character, and Tommy would be the paranoid, geez, Scoob, that character. But it does look like it might be flipped. But yeah, but Lindsay's in it. Yeah, we don't know. I don't know.
Maybe. I think there's something else they're leaving out. Possibly. And I'll tell you why in a second.
Oh, okay. 24-second mark. Michael Myers, alive and well. With
you left something mask
out. Okay, it's okay. The gun.
It's a man's hands in a leather jacket. No, so I'm telling you, I went buck wild.
You did also 23 seconds.
It's a fishing tackle box. He pulls a Desert Eagle out of it, puts the magazine in. It's clearly a man's hands wearing a leather jacket. He's got really odd toe thumbs, like our girl from Transformers. What's her name?
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. She got the weird toe thumbs. He's got like really short, stubby thumbnails. So
I see it now. Did you take a dive?
I dove, baby.
Oh my God.
This is either not Tommy Doyle.
Okay.
Or, because I checked that man's thumbnail history, or it is him, and this is like not Anthony Michael Hall's hands.
A hand double.
Hand double. Or I think this is when we see Tommy again in this trailer, he's not wearing this type of coat. This could be another character that's just like,
sure,
this, just like a hillbilly in Part 4 type guy. Like, I've been waiting for this goddamn night. This could be
Yeah.
Lonnie. We don't know who this is.
Oh, but yeah,
My
I
point
definitely
is-
think so. We're gonna see a bunch of new characters.
We
I
don't
think.
know who it is. It could be Tommy Doyle. It's definitely not Michael Anthony Hall's thumbs.
I love that we solved that. Yeah, it was very quick with the gun, and I didn't mention it because it feels like everybody's got a gun. This seems like a very gun heavy.
Oh, yeah,
Trailer
definitely.
almost. And which it makes sense. We know what's happening. This is the aftermath. The community's scared. Everybody's going to be mounted up. So although it's good,
Regulators.
we know who it's not potentially. At 24 seconds, we get Mike with his burned mask, left side taking some damage, and it looks a million times better than the rugged, beat up look that Rob Zombie did.
Oh, yeah.
And
we
it's just,
don't
this is
know-
kind of our money shot almost.
We don't know where it is. It's very darkly lit, and it's hard to tell.
It's an interior though.
Yes, we know it's an interior. It's hard to tell of where. He's looking down. Looks like there may be a staircase or something, Like, he's definitely looking down at us, and just, I can't look at this too much longer. Just him staring at me
I
with the
know.
fucking black holes in his mask.
Yeah,
But-
they did a great job with this mask,
Yeah.
this burned, beat up mask. I didn't even think about it. I don't remember talking about it too much, at least, about what the new mask would look like, because of course it was going to have to change.
It's going to
'cause it
have
was
some
on fire.
charring on it for sure.
Yeah. And they went minimal. They said, let's not, let's not ruin a good thing here.
Yeah, please don't.
So thank you for that, guys.
So we see Mikey.
We see Mikey.
looking down at us. He just moves a
It
little
almost-
bit.
It almost matches the interior, at least I think. Detective Dale's on the case here. We're going to see him attack a man who's inside of a house.
Yes, it
and
does.
I feel the structure looks very similar to that house.
Yeah, there's like some browns, some earth tones.
Yes, yes, earth toads. Yeah,
It's-
we're look at us.
It's not
When
really.
you're watching Halloween trailers, you become an interior designer.
You goddamn right you do. A thumbnail expert.
And looks good though. At 25 seconds, I think we get a trailer trickery here. I'm calling it right now. We hear.
I want to know why.
I'm telling you.
Okay, I'm just telling you, I'm excited.
We hear Lori go, Michael. She's doing
Yep.
her thing. But our shot is in the hospital. Lori's surrounded by people, including Karen, and they're looking up at what I'm guessing to be a TV. I hate to do that. I'm assuming, but they're all looking up what's up in hospitals. That's the TVs. There's probably some coverage of the event, what's going on. Maybe some firefighters have been killed, responding to a fire, a suspect on the loose sort of deal, because they look very upset. But I don't think her screaming, Michael, it happens in that scene. They want you to believe that maybe she's looking up at the TV and maybe that's how they learn of it. So I just, something's up with that. I don't trust it.
That's a good point. I can't tell. It's hard to tell for me if they're looking out of the emergency room door or like if they're looking through glass. It looks like probably not. Your explanation's the most sound because they're looking sort of up, which is weird, but they don't. Their looks are all pretty wide for just looking at a TV. You know what I mean? Like, looks like maybe there's something happening outside, maybe.
Okay. So this is the hospital window and they're looking outside.
Something
and
like that.
As I look at it at the 24-second mark, I mean, there's a lot of glass there. There's no reason that can't be a f***ing window.
Yeah, but it's hard to tell if they're like there's glass on the left of Laurie Strode, it looks like, but I can't tell if Laurie and Karen are behind glass or that part's open. It's hard to tell. But yeah, they did that in the movie Halloween 2018 where she's saying things, we hear her say things and it's not matching up with what's happening in the scene. We talked about it on our Patreon episode, but in particular, there's a scene where there's like Sartain meets Laurie for the first time, and it's like why the hell would you do that? So I could kill him. That whole scene in the movie seemed like a bunch of different takes, or like maybe there was a longer version of that. So in the trailer, that part seems like a trailery manipulation. So I think you're right. Like maybe she is screaming Michael here, but as part of something else, or maybe she's screaming someone else's name and they put when she says Michael in the trailer there. I don't trust it though. I agree with you that I think it's meant to throw us.
But I just like the fact that I've got Laurie Strode in the hospital.
She's definitely not behind glass. I'm going frame by frame. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm going frame by frame. And when you get to the end of that 25-second mark, you could see the shadow of her face start to like creep over where the glass would have to be if she was behind glass.
Enhance.
Yeah, we're doing the CSI. Okay, anyone listening, did you not think this was going to happen? By the way. Yeah, I like that shot too.
25-second mark. Our first shot of Tommy Doyle. He's got a bit of a beer gut, a scowl, and a baseball bat. He's outside a bar with some people and looks like he might have just thrown a posse together or maybe joined one, but he looks ready to throw down.
Mix bar or something, it says. Again, and now I don't know if this is just what happens with extras on a set or not, or because I've never really looked at stuff like this frame by frame paused. But if you look at the characters behind him, they also are sort of staring out widely at something else.
Is this a showdown of sorts? Are we actually getting the death
like
of
is
Tommy
Michael
Doyle
here?
Right here? Does he knock the fucking mask off him? Does he beat the brakes off him?
But yeah, he's got the bat and he looks like he's ready to go. Now, if you get to the very end of the clip with Tommy, you could see his right thumb is clearly a normal sized thumbnail. Well, yeah, I mean, I looked up archival pictures of Anthony Michael Hall through the ages. As a youth, his thumbnails are normal. I found when he was on that Hot Zone show or whatever, that thing is he had normal thumbnails. And then this is the best part I could see is his right hand on the bat. His thumbnail looks normal. And he's not wearing a leather jacket. And if we know one thing about this movie so far, it's that it's happening in one night, most from everything we can piece together, right?
It's at least starting on the same night.
Sure.
There might be some passages of time down the
Maybe.
road, but the motherfucker starts the same night.
It would be odd for him to for at one scene for him to have this jacket on and then decide, I got to put my leather jacket on for this. You know what I mean? I think that the gun in the hand, I think we're supposed to sort of maybe think it's Tommy once we see Tommy in the trailer, but I don't think it is. It's another character.
It's a very subtle misdirect, trying to make you think one thing a little bit.
But Tommy looks like he about to f shit up.
I love it. I have a feeling that's going to be whatever music hits right there, whatever John and Cody have dialed up for that moment. I know it's going to be good.
Can we get some Irish drinking music? His name's Doyle. Tommy Doyle. He's at Mix Bar. And the shape he comes to town at the night.
Oh, man.
The very next frame after Tommy.
I've got 26 seconds. An old man walks towards, I think, his front door when Michael's hand bursts through the glass, grabs the man by the head, I think beats it or something. Similar to Michael grabbing Laurie in Halloween 2018. He loves these smash and grabs.
What's odd about it is, so if you're a nut job and you're going like click by click, frame by frame, it starts at the 25-second mark with him punching through the glass. And it looks almost cabin-esque. It almost looks like a Crystal Lake cabin window in a way.
Okay.
Not like it's very rustic. A lot of earth tones, like we said. But then when you click through it, he grabs him by the face. The outside shot of Michael looks like he's maybe in they used to call them Florida rooms or sun rooms or something, like an exterior room,
like a Four Seasons room.
Yeah, like it's not inside the house. There's no heating and air conditioning in there, but it's like a porched in area. Like you don't see another house across the street or anything. It's just a weird setup. And
so what are you saying? Is it by Laurie Strode because she's out in the middle of nowhere?
I don't know. I think this is like maybe a bigger building than just a house, or maybe it's a really big house somewhere. I don't know. Maybe he has an indoor porch. I'm just saying it's a weird background behind him through the window.
What about his thumbs?
His thumbs look good. They look nice, tight.
They look good. This is his good hand.
It's his good hand. Although he just punched through that glass.
He's not gonna have hands by the end of it.
That
Halloween
stab
Kills.
mark in his cheek. Does
Your
he
hands.
doesn't get that at the end of 1, does he?
The what?
The stab mark in his right cheek?
I believe so.
Okay, because there's still fresh blood on that piece of it. And I don't recall when he's picking it up how bloody it is. If it's very, very bloody. Yeah, there's still a little bit of blood on it. But it looks like there's... And this is just...
I would expect Mac.
I'm
mask
stretching here.
continuity to be on point.
Okay,
Might
then
be
maybe
a
I'm not
mistake.
stretching.
It might be a mistake, but I have a feeling that all that stuff's going to be what it needs to be.
What I'm
Telling
saying
your
is
story.
there looks like there's more blood on the mask in this shot than there is when he picks it up, for whatever
Okay.
that's worth.
All right. Maybe we'll get some face stabbings. I can't f***ing wait for this movie. Okay.
At the end of that shot, when he's smashing this dude's face in, this guy has a, I don't know if that's his daughter or some sort of live-in nurse.
Yeah, that was my next, because it goes to the 26-second mark, and I think this is more trailer trickery because they go to this shot of a black woman holding some object. What's in her hand?
She's holding a wine bottle, but it's hard to see. In her other hand, it looks like it's almost like a little kid's toy, like a teething thing or something, maybe. I can't tell.
I never noticed that.
But I
Let me
will tell
slow
you
it down.
what's not trickery is this is happening at the same time.
No, see, I disagree. I disagree. Obviously, it's the same house that the backgrounds all match. I don't think that shot of her is a reaction of him doing what he's doing. I think that's going to happen, but I think this might be down the road. Maybe she drive. I just don't think it's back to back. Is all.
I think it is because, like you said, the interiors match, and so the color of this guy's sweater matches perfectly with what is blurry in the foreground of the shot of her screen.
You're right.
It looks like that guy's shoulder or
It's
something.
like a weird shade of red.
Yeah, like a reddish
Orange,
brown.
Yeah. You're right. I DTA. Don't trust anybody.
Oh no, I get you. Maybe this whole scene's cut out of the movie. We don't know.
So we'll see. Is she gonna survive? I hope so.
I'll tell you what the next shot is when you get there.
I'm gonna go with the 27-second mark, and I think this is, despite the Michael Myers money shot of the new mask, I think 27-second mark is my favorite shot of the trailer. And if you blink, you'll miss it. It doesn't have any character we've met yet. It shows a little boy on Halloween, because this is still Halloween night, and he's got his trick-or-treat pumpkin bag, and he's sprinting down the sidewalk in terror, looking over his shoulder in the process. And like that, I just like that.
I think
much.
that is one of our flashback shots.
Oh, yeah. See, that's a good point. Because
Because
that's gonna happen because they did in the first movie. So yeah, that's another good point.
it
But
doesn't.
I still like.
It's not definitive, right? It's not definitive, but there's really nothing modern in the shot. Sort of the way the kid's dressed is sort of
Classic.
Yeah, he's got like those athletic shirt with like the solid colored collar at the top. That's sort of, those are popular now, but that was like a big thing back then. And the car in the foreground looks like an old convertible,
Yeah.
2-door. And sure, you could have a classic car now. Of course you can. I'm not saying you can't. But just looking at this shot, of everything else we've seen in the trailer so far, this is the only shot that could be one of those flashback shots. And I think it is. Just because none
That
of the
makes
other
sense.
ones stand out as
Sure.
being one. And like there's an old classic car. Kids, those pumpkins have been around forever.
Yeah, that is definitely that's not even a thing you see these days, but that's a thing that we saw when we were trick or treating
Right.
back in the day.
The decorations look real basic.
generic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good fucking point. So what are you saying? Is this Tommy Doyle? Is this a flashback to what?
I don't know if it's Tommy Doyle because he was wearing a spaceman costume on Halloween.
Oh,
So I don't know why that would be him on Halloween night running away with his candy bucket. Like the last thing he does is runs down the street with Lindsay to get the police.
Right. Yeah. So it's not then. Maybe it is a new character. Maybe it's our gunman.
Could be
mysterious
another
gunman.
youth. Could it be
Because-
Lonnie?
It could be somebody came across this man who's crossing these streets in
Right.
1978, just carrying bodies. Do, 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 do. Could you imagine? It's like, crossing him as a kid, which Tommy did in the first one. He bumps right into him. Scary. So
No.
maybe some other kid has this situation, or maybe he sees the bodies in 1978. What if that's all the shot is? And he's just walking down the road and he sees the shape carrying the dead body in his arms crossing the street. He's just like, nope. Bye.
I even double checked an old picture of Tommy before he's got his spaceman costume on. He doesn't have a jacket or anything like that. But that would be a good point. So at the end of Halloween, this kid's running. He's not wearing a costume either, which is weird. Unless that's like a
That's
Johnny
true.
Unitas jersey or something. Like, I don't fucking know. But
That's a good point.
he's not really wearing a costume. He does have a candy bucket. Could it be a misleading shot? Could he have stolen some kid's candy and he's about to run into Michael crossing the street with a body? And he's sprinting looking
Yeah.
behind him.
Right? He's a bully who's running away because he did some bad stuff, maybe. Oh, God.
Yeah,
Is
they
it
could get
October
you.
15th yet?
No.
So we'll see.
Sorry.
So we'll see what happens with this mysterious young boy. I just like seeing new characters and stuff. That excites me. At the 27-second mark, I think we're getting close to the end here.
We are. And this is one of the most problematic shots for me to figure out.
I don't think it is. I said I want to talk about this later when we were talking about Allison walking the halls at the hospital. Well, here we go. 27 seconds, a mob of people at the hospital who are in the middle of some sort of chant. They're all in rhythm, doing something, saying something, and they don't seem happy.
Except the
And
guy in the background.
That's why they put it with the back. Like,
He's in the background. He is laughing and he's smiling really, and he's not looking at what they're looking at. It's terrible.
because he's like, I'm in a Halloween movie. Oh, God, you're right. Paul Blart's back there just
exactly.
having it up.
Looks just like him. But yeah,
What the?
here's why I say I don't mean problematic, like it's bad or something. For like they're clearly not just rabble rousing. They're chanting something. Their fists are like almost moving in unison. Like there has to be some sort of chant that's going on.
Mhm.
I have no idea though, plot wise, what it could be. Is Michael now at the hospital and they're like, go
Yep.
in there and kill him?
Yep.
Did somebody in town say, hey, they only want, they want these people or something? Get these people out of here. Let them explain themselves. Laurie Strode did all this. She's crazy. There isn't even a Michael Myers out here. Some fake news shit, I don't know. I have no idea. Like, yeah, it's probably related to let's kill Michael Myers, but why are they at the hospital?
Because look at his hand. They got him in that ambulance. The motherfucker's he's at the hospital.
Oh, you think he's in the ambulance and they know he's in there? And
No, but I think he gets transferred from Laurie's house to the
Oh,
hospital.
that's perfect. And they know that it's okay. I want to make this even more detailed though. So you get a call, you go into Laurie Strode's house, you're an emergency responder. Everyone in town knows. Everyone knows Michael Myers is on the loose. Right? You get there, you pick up Michael Myers. There's no way everyone in town doesn't find out that you're taking him to the hospital. Like,
Loose
hey,
lips in Haddonfield.
I got Michael in the ambulance right now. Whatever, what do we do or whatever. And then the police tell someone and someone tells something, tell a wrestler, whatever it's called, hotel, everybody, even the mayor. But yeah, that makes sense. They know he's there. There's one f***ing hospital. They bring him to the hospital. Oh man, that makes it so much juicier than the original 1 into 2. Because the original 1 into 2 is
Still small scale.
She goes to the hospital. Michael's on the loose. We got to protect her. He's after her. They made all that shit up for part 2 to make it make sense for him to go to the hospital. In this one, just like in Halloween 2018, they're bringing Michael Myers to Laurie Strode.
Whoops.
Yeah, whoops. And this guy thinks it's hilarious, and he's probably eating a churro back there.
He's a Thorn agent. We just don't know it yet. I'm telling you, if they hit me with, just put that graffiti on a wall somewhere, and my pants are just done. But I think that's what's going to happen. They bring him to the hospital because he's a United States citizen. You bring him to hospitals when they're burned and hurt and old and dying.
Yeah.
And their hands are blown off. That's what you do. But that scene when Laurie and Karen and any word on Allison, when they get word that they're bringing him in, because I don't think they do, like, they stroll him right like, I don't think they do that.
No, I get you.
But that's gonna be good. That's just gonna be so good. That whole hospital stuff is gonna be amazing. And, and as I talk it out, and we've got the mob of people out there, and I'm very determined that that's what's happening. I don't think they're there because they're mad at Laurie or anything like that. I don't think it's gonna all take place in the house. I don't think we get him. We'll probably get a couple hospital kills. He's gonna kill his way out of there. But we don't have this whole cat and mouse game that we did in Halloween.
We've seen it even in this short trailer. I mean, it's 36 seconds long, but of actual things in the movie, it's like 30 seconds long, or if that, 28 or something. But even so, we still see him kill the guy at the house. We see him get his mask in the street. We see Tommy in the street. We see plenty to let us know that it doesn't all happen here. This is, to me, this is the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, this is easily the first 15 minutes still.
That girl in the glasses in the front on the left doesn't even know why she's there.
I think he's just happy. He's like, I'm in a Halloween movie. Oh my God. I don't even think he's
sandwiches.
I think he's a craft services guy. Like, we need one more. We got an empty spot. Grab me a fatty.
You know what I didn't do is look through those people to find like Danny McBride, but I have no indication of these.
These are the scenes where it's like, hey, do a charity raffle and get some fans in this movie.
Didn't they do it with Scream 2 on MTV? You like you won a part in Scream 2, and she was like the movie ticket taker at the beginning of Scream 2.
Something like that. Like that, yeah. Because it's a franchise that people like. Or you could just pay qualified extras to do their work, except for that guy. So we get a mob of people out there, and I just think that's the case. That's what we're gonna see. So far, I've got the first 20 minutes. I just know it. I see it in my head.
Yeah,
that's great.
Well,
and this happened in Halloween 2018, and I was way off, but it was close. But what they did was still better and awesome, so it was fine. And I'm sure that's probably going to be the case here. We'll have some of the details wrong, but it'll be great.
The very last shot, it starts right at the end of the 26-second mark, 27-second mark.
27
is Allison.
Yep,
screaming.
She's on a threshold of some sort of home. It looks like.
Yep,
and
you see some wallpaper, but it looks like that's outside behind her because you see leaves on the ground, like a porch maybe, or back out into the driveway. We see a cut on her head though.
Holy shit!
That cut, and at first when I'm just watching it, I'm like, yeah, she got a little banged up at the end of one. But when we go back to the other, we know this happens after she leaves the hospital because in the hospital, the shot of her walking, there's no cut.
Why mask on ground?
You know what this episode is called? Why mask on ground?
Yeah, good injury continuity.
This one went. I'm like, we'll be done. 20 minutes, plenty of time to break down this trailer. 40 minutes later. Oh, Jesus. We're such fucking nerds.
So yeah, and she's looking up and she's terrified. She sees something. Assumingly it's Michael.
It's a dead body or it's Michael. There's nothing
Yes.
else it could be.
But it's really like if it is a dead body, that's got to be Lori because she's selling the
Some
shit out of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's a good screamer, like so.
Yeah. That's a good quality for your horror pictures.
Yeah,
Man.
and you know what? And it's not. Yeah, you're right because she's screaming and then braces herself on the wall. It's either him or like he's killing Lori or something.
Yeah.
Like she looks
it's
like
hitting her
she's
in a
gonna.
way.
Yeah, exactly. Man, we broke that down. We broke that the fuck down. I honestly didn't think we were gonna break it down like that, and then we did.
Well, it's only 36 seconds. Granted, it took us 40 minutes, but
It's
fine.
we.
It's
So
fine. Everything's fine.
I gotta crunch the numbers and come back with ask me about the numbers next week. I'll crunch the numbers. How this was like 30 seconds of a trailer that because the title at the end is like 8 seconds long.
Yeah.
We took 40 minutes to break it down. Like what that is per second. Like how much time we spent per second breaking it down. Crazy.
I'm gonna plug it up.
I love it.
with our Patreon. Obviously, we have our Halloween 2018 episode, wrestling episodes. There's good stuff in the past, and got some good stuff coming out. Did some new doing things from new angles, having some fun, and looking forward to your feedback. Listen to those. Let us know if you want more of those. And yeah, we're out there listening, and check it out on facebook.com/notlikeThisPodcast. That's where I post these episodes because people are on Facebook. We don't do it on Twitter because I just can't. Sorry.
I get it.
And those are my plugs, Jim.
I don't have any plugs. Just check out the Patreon and thank you for listening. Keep listening. And man, just as we get closer to when do we rename this Halloween the podcast is what people are probably wondering.
Because we can't, because that when we do, then we're just gonna stop talking about it.
Yeah.
And we're like, God, it's another name that doesn't work.
We'll f that up.